evening and welcome to our 9 p.m. English news brought to you live by RTD. My name is Anna Farah. Presidency 16 Minister Council held under the chairman of the head of state. Post-Brexit, the British Parliament repealed European law. And now the national news. Under the chairmanship of the head of the state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, today was the 16th meeting of the Council of the Ministers where 5 issues were on the agenda of this council. Under the chairman of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, today was the 16th meeting of the Council of the Ministers where 5 issues were on the agenda of this council. The first question addresses obviously concerned the start of the school 2017-2018, where its primary education, base or secondary education for entrance secondary school and technical college. This education return were made in excellent condition. The Minister of National Education, His Excellency Mustafa Mohamed Mahamoud, explained to the head of the state, the member of the government, the progress of back to school and the priority of his department. At the end of the meeting, the Minister of Justice Momin Ahmed Sheikh, who is currently acting spokesman of the government, has made an update of the question discussed. Let us listen for more details.
Under the chairmanship of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has been held the 16th Ministers' Council. 5 issues today were on the agenda of this council. The first question addressed obviously covered the start of the school year 2017-2018. The beginning of the primary, secondary, college and high school were this week happening in good conditions. The Minister of National Education, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahamoud, explained to the members of the government the progress of this school new year and the School of Excellence, and above all the priorities of his department. The second question addressed a draft law on the reorganizations of the Ministry of Communication, Post and Telecommunication. The third question concerned the bill for being approved by the head of state and the members of the government. This is a text proposed by the Ministry of Muslims Affairs. Its purpose is to prohibit the import, transit or sale on the national territory cultural properties looted from museums in neighboring country during period of conflict and state war. The fourth question was a proposal by the Ministry of Labor responsible for the reform of the administration. Several technical advisors were appointed to the Ministry of Equipment and Transport. There were Mr. Ilyas Hussein Wais, Mr. Ahmed Abdou Ali, and Mr. Shamsan Amin Shamsan. At the end of the session, the Secretary of State for Solidarity presented a report on the program of social welfare centers and the famous social register, which is an entry point to programs such as assistance to students with disability, assistance to students from the interior regions, and assistance to elderly people and vulnerable.
Back to school at Arta High School went well yesterday. This re-entry was supervised by the prefect and the president of the regional council by a delegation of senior officials sent by the Department of National Education. The Ministry of National Education has sent senior officials and departmental office to ensure the re-entry is smooth. The first task of the month for delegated is to ensure that all teachers are in their posts and in their fields, that the classrooms are clean and the table chairs are sufficient, and that the teacher material are well available. Students from the town of Obok also yesterday entered their class for the high school education. They joined the district high school for the general studies or industrial and commercial high school for technical studies. The joy and the reunion were rendezvous. These people felt full of enthusiasm to resume class after several weeks of school holidays. This re-entry was supervised by the President of the Regional Council and the Prefect, as well as a delegation of senior officials from the Ministry of Mofor. Like the rest of the country, Dikil High School has reopened its door to the students after several weeks of holiday. The start of secondary school followed by 24 hours the opening of the School of the Primary Education. The students returned to the classes with the administration staff and the teachers returned to their class in good condition. A commission has been set to observe this re-entry. It is composed the Prefect of the region, Mr. Mohammed Sheikhu Hassan, the President of the Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yunis Are, and official of the Ministry of Education. This official ensure that the start of the school year went smooth and it is very good condition. Identically, situation Tachora Ali Sabih, the General Technic School, yesterday reopened the door to the high school students. This returned secondary school followed by the re-entry of the Secondary School of Primary Education. The Department of National Education Vocational Training has endeavored to dispatch its representative everywhere to ensure the re-entry takes place excellent condition and the teachers are above all the posts. The returns allow the students to be in good spirit, each one of being especially proud to demonstrate that has been success in passing the high class. The regional authority, they be the prefect and the member of the region council, have also assumed their roles. A meeting aimed raising awareness of the right of the children was held last Wednesday in the neighborhood 4. This meeting was at the CDC Commitment Development Center in Ward 4. It was organized by UNFD, the Minister of Women and Family, in collaboration with the UNDP. This meeting aimed to promote the right of the children, such as the right to protect education or health. The question obtaining a birth certificate for the children born without parent recognition, since it was not recognized by the father, was also raised as much as a problem posed by the use of all forms of existing. A meeting aimed at raising awareness for the right of the children was held on Wednesday in Liable. This meeting was at the CDC Community Development Center in Ward 4. It was organized by UNFD, the Minister of Women and the Family, in collaboration with the UNDP. This meeting aimed to promote the right of the children, such as the right of protection, education and health. Djibouti Football Federation, in collaboration with the company Twin Golf Industry, owned by Basta Meida, closed yesterday evening the national ball tournament called Super League Basta Meida, which saw the participation of 5 best teams in the national championship. The last meeting was between the team of Sport Association Asachog Telecom of the region of Alisebiye against the team of the Port Djibouti and resulted in a score of 7-1 in favor of the team of Asas Telecom. The last day of the tournament, Super League Pasta Meida, was rich in football. Thus, the team of the Republican Guard beat by the score of 2-1 the young team of the University of Djibouti. finally, the Football Federation organized a trophy award ceremony presided over the Secretary of the State for the Youth and Sport, Mr. Hassan Mohamed Kamil, and so the participation of leadership of Djibouti Football Federation as well as the various teams. The championship teams, Access Telecom, received a cash of 1,500,000 francs Djibouti, and the team Ghana Republica vice champion received a check of 1 million francs Djibouti. And now, let us move on the international scenes. British MB voted yesterday night a law to end the supremacy of European law in the UK, a decision deemed historic by the Prime Minister Theresa May. More detail in this video, please.
British members of Parliament have passed a key stage of a bill transferring EU laws into domestic legislation. The EU Withdrawal Bill now moves to the next stage of the lawmaking process. British Prime Minister Theresa May faced a battle against MPs who wants to amend the bill before it comes a law. Anti-Brexit protesters have voiced their opposition to the bill, and Britain planned clean break from the EU. The government says the bill would ensure a smooth departure from the bloc. Its passage is expected to take months to complete.
New sanctions against North Korea have been passed by the UN Security Council. This less severe than the American wanted follows the nuclear test conducted by Pyongyang on September 3rd. More detail, listen to Said Mohammed, please.
China and Russia have joined an unanimous UN Security Council vote to impose new sanctions on Korea after its sixth and largest nuclear test. The latest sanctions were agreed on Monday after the US removed some of its toughest proposals, such as a complete oil embargo. However, America is still talking of further actions if there is no change. Despite years of diplomacy and sanctions, Pyongyang has continued to develop its nuclear program and now claimed to have developed a hydrogen bomb. Far from being restrained by the threats of more drastic measures, Kim Jong-un appeared to have been celebrating the allegedly successful latest test a week ago. U.S. President Donald Trump had previously warned that the U.S. could cut off trade with countries if they do business with North Korea. However, the new sanctions fall short of what Mr. Trump would have liked: an oil import ban or international asset freeze on the governments and leader Kim Jong-un. The resolution does not ban North Korea from importing all natural gas liquid, but it only capped Pyongyang import of crude oil at the level of the last 12 months, and it limits the import of refined petroleum product of 2 million barrels a year.
That is all for this evening news. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.